What are you doing, Chris Bumstead? You think you can stand next to the greatest of all time, the Austrian oak, Arnold Schwarzenegger? Get to the chopper! Come on! Hello, everyone. This is Mark with Mark's Max Muscle. I try to kind of sound like the Tominator when I do that. So that's actually my impression of the Tominator, doing his impression of Arnold. The Olympia was just a couple of days ago, guys, and it is an annual tradition of mine when Chris Bumstead wins the title again for the fourth time. This time, I compare him against the Austrian oak, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Come on, do it. And this year, I figured I would do a collage of versions of Arnold. This is 1974. It's a photo shoot, I know. The onstage pictures of 74, not the best. I mean, what can you say, guys? Arnold actually looks pretty good in the wheel department, to be honest with you. Now, the midsection might be the only aspect Chris Bumstead is winning here. It's a brutal beating in the arm situation, I can tell you that. But come on, guys. I mean, if Bumstead, if he had a decent set of arms, might be a different story. Now, let's be fair. Here's Arnold on stage. And this is 75. So you could see from 74 to 75, Arnold was probably down 15 to 20 pounds. Arms look good. Condition looks great. But yeah, Arnold was massive in 74. He lost a lot of weight. He was not a bodybuilder anymore. He went to do movies, and then he returned at the last minute. And, you know, he didn't train all year for 75. But one thing 75 did offer was supreme movements, execution of the shots. He did actually improve in that aspect. Now, this is 1980. You could see Arnold's legs. They got slenderer and slenderer. They got more skinny. And you can see he has no impact at all compared to the other versions. So 75, loved that version of the oak, but did not have the one bit of the size of this version. We'll go back to 74. And Arnold, the Austrian oak, even in the wheels, his legs look bigger than Bumstead's. Definitely in the calves. But Bumstead, where he has an edge, is in that midsection. Look at that. Look at Bumstead's shape, that X-frame. He deserves a wow. Holy cow. Now here is 75. And you can see, guys, he was not Arnold. He was not messing around as far as the execution of the shot. You can see the mind. The 1975 mind of Arnold was the best bodybuilding mind. But you could see from the wheels, a little bit dainty. He wasn't doing squats and deadlifts and heavy squats and deadlifts all year long. He just kind of wrapped it up at the last minute. Him and Ed Corney. But yeah, wheels, Bumstead is supreme. Here is the famous words, guys. Turn to the side. And Arnold, this is supposed to be his shot. We're beginning with 75 here. And he has a big man's chest. But Bumstead's beating him. The 1975 Arnold he is. Now here's 74. And Arnold, it's a different camera angle. They tried to really get it's almost like as if the Arnold talk to the cameraman. You get me in this position for this pose. And when I do this pose, you gotta get into that position. Now fall into position. But anyway, a little bit of a joke there, guys. Hey, it's Arnold. You got to do the Arnold impression when you do an Arnold video. Do you not know that by now? I'll be back. Arnold likes when you say that too, by the way, you know. Yeah, condition-wise, guys, it's obvious to me. Bumstead is supreme. Let's have a look at the back. And this is where Arnold's fans jump up and say, you have no idea how good Arnold was. Arnold in 74, his condition, arguably at its best, at its peak. Some would say 71, 73, he was pretty conditioned, but some of these back shots, this is your evidence that he was his most shredded. Maybe not from the front shots, but his rear condition. You can almost see glutes on the oak. You see that? And the back size. Now look at his lats. The lat thickness themselves. Now watch. Boom. 75. Great back, great condition. but you could see not as hard in the glutes, I would say, and the lower half the size, half the size. And like I said, were you looking at the lats? Did you see the lat size thickness? So 74 was incredible. Now here's 1980. It does look like he still has a pretty thick lat insertion there going on, but it was nowhere near as hard and as grainy as it was in 75. His back and his biceps, this was his best shot. This was his closest to the prime of Arnold for 1980. Now, 1980, he really did wrap that up in the last minute. Now, when I say he got into shape at the last minute in 75, I mean he had some months to deal with. But in 1980, I really think it wasn't very long that he trained as a bodybuilder. He was training to do a movie, so he was in shape, but not, striations. Here's the abs and thigh, and I chosen a 1980 for Arnold, because I don't like using those other abs and thighs of Arnold. He'd throw one leg out, one arm up, I mean, one leg out's fine for an abs and thigh. He actually has he holds his own. He's doing pretty good in the midsection against Chris Bumstead. He is turned to the side, though. And like I said, 1980, Arnold's back. Look at those lats. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. And we're going to finish off with a couple of classical shots. What do you mean, classical? Look at this. This is the current. This is the now. I guess even back in Arnold's day, this was somewhat of an older shot. A tilting rear double bi. I will, not Allah. I will, not that there's anything wrong with that. I will try to link you guys a video at the end of this one for some aftermarket poses. It's a video I made, and here is another shot. Like, I forget what I called the video. Anyway, signature shots or something of that nature, where it's not the mandatory poses. This one here, they're not really hitting it to the same. Arnold used to display that midsection. Keep in mind, Bumstead from the front, he destroys Arnold in that aspect. But Arnold, he used that trickery, he turned, and his arm looks bigger than his waistline, for goodness sakes. Wow, wow. And I guess in bodybuilding fashion, we will actually finish off with a couple of most musculars, and yes, I said a couple, because Chris Bumstead has now injected this into his repertoire of shots. He was hitting a hands on hip before, most muscular, but now he hits a nice hands clasped, wrist clasped, and he popped this baby in. Huh? I have to say, Chris Bumstead, I mean, yes, everybody was talking about his bicep, his left bicep there. Is it torn? Is it just decreased in size? Is it fading away? But all bicep aside, Bumstead looks incredible in this crab position, most muscular. He looks Arnold-esque. Anyway, guys, here's a colored picture of Arnold, but the camera angle might have been good for the side chest and the maybe the front lat, but this one here, you need to have the camera up a little bit. Arnold he got mad at that cameraman. What are you doing? You're supposed to go up. When I hit the most muscular, you see my fists go together, you have to come on up. When you see the side chest, we go down and fall into position and get situation. And here's 75. And this is what I'm saying. This is a better angle for Arnold. But then again, he has 75 size. He doesn't have 74 size. His wheels are good and cut. His condition was good. It was in 75. But let's make no mistake about it. Chris Bumstead, 2022, would simply be on a whole other level as far as conditioning is concerned than the Austrian Oak. Any version of Arnold. But that's the times, guys. That's the times. It was a condition for 1975. That was good for then. But if Arnold was around now, he'd have nowadays conditions. So you can't really judge these two. It's more just to simply celebrate these world-class, fantastic physiques. It is the optimum of human development. You don't need too much bulky muscle. You have just good enough, like Chris Bumstead and Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Austrian Oak. So please, at this time, click thumbs up on the video, and heck, why not? Subscribes to Marks and Mass Muscles, and stay tuned for the next pose.